The Story of Esther. Once upon a time, in the great Persian Empire, there was a young Jewish woman named Esther. She was an orphan, raised by her cousin Mordecai, and lived in a time when the Jewish people were in exile. Little did she know that her life was about to change forever. The Persian King Xerxes held a grand feast, and in the midst of the celebrations, he became upset when his queen, Vashti, refused to obey his command. So, the king decided to find a new queen, one more beautiful and obedient than the last. A search was made, and Esther, with her beauty, was chosen to be brought before the king. Despite the fact that Esther was a Jewish woman, no one knew about her heritage, as Mordecai had advised her to keep it a secret. While Esther was settling into her new life as queen, a wicked man named Haman rose to power as one of the king's top officials. Haman became enraged when Mordecai, Esther's cousin, refused to bow down to him. In his fury, Haman decided to take revenge not just on Mordecai, but on all the Jewish people in the kingdom. He convinced the king to issue a decree to kill all the Jews. The king, unaware that Esther was Jewish, gave his seal of approval to Haman's evil plot. A date was set for the massacre of the Jews, and the entire kingdom was in mourning. When Esther learned of the plot, she was devastated. She knew that as queen, she was in a unique position to stop this disaster. But she also knew that approaching the king without being invited was a dangerous act. In those days, anyone who entered the king's presence without being summoned could be put to death, unless the king held out his golden scepter to spare their life. Esther was afraid. But her cousin Mordecai sent her a message with a powerful reminder. Perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this. This meant that Esther might have become queen for the very purpose of saving her people. Esther made a brave decision. She asked all the Jews in the city to fast and pray for 3 days. She also prayed for strength and wisdom, asking God for guidance. After the 3 days, Esther put on her royal robes and went to the king. When Esther stood before the king, he was pleased to see her and held out his scepter, sparing her life. Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet where she planned to reveal her true identity and request his help. At the banquet, Esther told the king that her life was in danger and that she was Jewish. She revealed Haman's wicked plot to annihilate her people. The king was furious and ordered Haman to be executed for his evil actions. Not only was Haman punished, but the king also issued a new decree that allowed the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. Thanks to Esther's courage and wisdom, the Jews were saved from certain destruction. The day that was meant for their annihilation became a day of celebration and victory. The Jewish people celebrated with feasting and joy, and they honored Esther for her bravery. Esther's story teaches us the power of faith, courage, and the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of danger. She risked everything to save her people and changed the course of history for the Jewish people. Esther's bravery reminds us that we are all part of a bigger plan, and that even when things seem uncertain, there is a purpose in everything. When we have the courage to trust in God's plan, we too can make a difference, just like Esther did. Like, share, follow and subscribe for more Bible insights.